So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Krillin, Earth's strongest man. Apparently. And this is the SH Figuarts Krillin. It's the newer version of Krillin. I know there's an older one that's available with the eyes colored in, which is actually manga accurate. But this is the version of Krillin here. He comes with some stuff. That's the box, and there he is. Look at him, very angry. And here is the tray with all of his hands, which he has a lot of hands, and a couple of extra heads, along with an extra tray for his Destructo disc, which is quite nice. And here is Krillin out of the box. He's a little short. Look how tiny he is. He's a tiny little guy, man. He's too small. He's too small. It's Krillin. He's well known for being short. And this figure, honestly, one of the best figuarts I own, period. Genuinely just a great figure all around, and one you should not miss. This guy is great. I mean, as far as everything goes, looking at him, very nice. The painting, the blue looks quite good. It is, all of the blues tend to be different, though, I've noticed throughout the 3 Turtle School figures I have, that being Goku, Krillin, Yamcha. This is probably my favorite color. The Super Saiyan Goku Full Power has too dark of a blue, I find. The other one's a bit lighter than this one. This is like the perfect one. And Yamcha, well, Yamcha actually doesn't really have blue in him other than his belt, but his is more similar to the Super Saiyan Full Power Goku, which I guess makes sense. I mean, as far as it goes, symbol, stuff like that, everything looks great. He has the sleeves, but they're kind of 2 pieces, unlike the other ones. It's interesting, because it's like they decided not to just combine the piece, so there's 2 parts, unlike the Yamcha and the Goku. It actually looks a lot better that way, and it actually makes it look like there's a t-shirt under there, which it's trying to emulate, where the other one doesn't really look like that. And I mean, as far as he goes, that's him. He got a nice bald head. Very bald. Very nice. Does have a seam line, though. Unfortunately, that's just bald. And he does have some shading on the legs. One thing I will note is his legs are a lot more orange than the upper half of his body, which you might not be able to tell on camera. But in person, it is strikingly obvious that this is a bit more red to it than this orange up here, which is a bit more dull. It's really strange, honestly. I do like his boots, though. They're like Goku's boots, but they're black and blue, and I think they look a lot cooler. Anyway, that's just Krillin himself. So let's talk about his accessories, starting with hands, as always, fists. We then have fighting stance hands, and then we have open key blast type hands, of course. We then have the open grip, and then I believe solar flare type hands, which is kind of weird, because, you know, Tien tends to use the full hand, but Krillin uses solar flare using 2 fingers, which is really strange, but yep, he has that. And then we have the more fun hands of the bunch. The other ones are all kind of basic. I want to say basic, because the stance and the solar flare hands are different compared to any other figure. But these ones are very unique. We have Krillin and his bag of sensu beans, because Krillin is often the man with the sensu beans. He might not be the one who brings them, but he is always the one holding on to them. And this one here is for the Destructo disc effect part, which I've sadly left in the tray here, so I'm going to have to pop it out here on camera. Ooh. There we are. And as far as that goes, I'm just going to talk about this now, because why not? It is a kind of translucent yellow plastic, which is nice. Looks really good. It has like a nice little paint fade to it going out to the edge. It looks like it's painted on the inside opposed to the out, because it's a lot brighter on the inside, which is nice. But the one thing I have to say about it is this peg can come out of this disc part. I think they also did reuse this with the full power Frieza as well. And basically for the Destructo disc, it just plugs into that hand, nice and easy peasy. So Krillin can throw his Destructo disc at whoever is, you know, looking at him. And he holds it kind of well. It's a little iffy. It might just be joint tolerances, but for the most part, he can hold it over his head as he should be able to. And I think it looks pretty cool, honestly. Now that we're done with the arms, we now have head sculpts, which are pretty alright, I guess. First up, we have serious, kind of angry-looking face. There that is. And to pop Krillin's heads off, he has my favorite type, which is the giant chunk type of head, which he actually comes with this whole setup, just to show it. I can get it out. I haven't really swapped his heads, weirdly enough. This is like the first time I think I'm trying to. I can't get that out. And there we go. Jeez, that did not want to go. Either way, put that on there, kind of. Oh, that's not correct. We're going to have to fix him up. We have angry teeth grit Krillin looking to the left, because, yes, they have to look to the right or left with teeth grit. No idea why that's still a thing. We then have the angry yell Krillin, which the head goes on perfectly fine on this one. The other one's just a little too tight. Sometimes that tends to happen with the heads like that, though. Again, the Gammas also had that issue, and Ginyu had a really loose head. Jiren's are completely fine, though. It's really strange. But, yeah, we have angry face, which, yes, eyes look very cool. And then we have shocked surprise face, or I'm scared Krillin, which, yeah, that's fitting, honestly. It's funny, though, because the Namekian Krillin has two different faces like this, but one of them is him being blown up. He just looks shocked. Like, I don't know what causes this face. I think somebody has to die in front of him. Mine has a little mark on the top of it, though, unfortunately, which is sad. But unlike the teeth grit, this one actually changes really easy. Ta-da! And that concludes the accessories. But before we continue on to articulation, let's just talk about one thing that's missing. And it has to do with the heads. He doesn't have a smiling head. That sucks. That it's one of those accessories that's like, it's missing. Other than that, he is complete. He's missing a smiling head. And I hate that he doesn't have a smiling head. It's Krillin. That is what Krillin is. Krillin's a very positive character, and he always smiles in a lot of these situations, and they didn't include one. They instead gave him the scared face. I would have liked them to not include maybe the angry yell. Maybe. I don't know. One of those, either the teeth grit or angry yell, because he needed that face. He needed a kind of smiling face, and even the Namekian one doesn't come with one. They missed out big on that one. They didn't give him a smiling one, and that's kind of just a tragedy, honestly. His articulation, though, really good. Ball joint in the head, ball joint in the neck as well. Forward and back the arms, along with some good motion. Like I said, these shoulders are the best version of how these have been done. Just got to say that right now. Swivel, double elbow. Rotation at the wrist. He does have the hinge, but it is going to be a little blocked by the wristbands. The belt can move, and the front knot can be moved around as well. Forward and back. The back is restricted, though. Outward knee joint is very, very good. Ankle tilts and swivels. And toe bends. Very good articulation for Krillin. He has those 3.0 hips, which is very good. Yes, 3.0 hips are the ones like this. They don't have that, like, blocking part in there. They're not afraid of a gap. And for my final thoughts on Krillin, he is an amazing figure. An amazing figure. But, there's one thing. He's missing that smiling head, and it's annoying. He's not a basic release figure, obviously. He's one of those larger, he was like $80 Canadian. He's really, like, you know, he's in that price point at a little bit higher price. He does come in a lot, but that head sculpt missing is just kind of, oh, man. All he's missing, really. I wish they had just gave him, like, a regular neutral instead of this scowl, maybe. Like, there's a way to get around it. It really sucks that they gave him no smile. It's Krillin. It's Krillin. That's what he does. And it's sad to see that. But other than that little oversight, this thing is, like, amazing. He's really small. Like, he is a really, really tiny figure. I don't have any figures just standing that are, like, regular sized. But, man, actually, yes, I do. I have Dr. Giro. He's, like, relatively regular sized, right? Just to show the scaling. There, yeah, Dr. Giro is, like, really regular sized. I could use him as a size comparison dummy. I'm stupid. But, I mean, as far as it is with him, he's just a great figure to have, especially if you're collecting Dragon Ball. It's kind of hard not to get Krillin. It's Krillin. He's a staple. He's like that one character. I always knew who Krillin was. All the time. Krillin's just a nice character to have, and was one of my favorite characters for a while until he got absolutely back-seated. He was great. I loved Krillin. Then he got just tossed aside in the Boo Saga and Super, and then he disappeared after being one of the main characters for half of Z and all of Dragon Ball. It's just kind of one of those things. Also, he's the reason of Super Saiyan, which is even more impressive. Good job, Krillin. 5 out of 5 for you. I don't care. That head sculpt missing is whatever. Everything else about this figure is perfect. He is one of the best SH figuarts I own. Easily. Is he my absolute favorite? No, but he's up there. I don't know who my favorite one is still to this day. I thought about that, and I was like, it's not the Maranmekian anymore. Definitely isn't. But yeah, that is basically it for this review of Krillin. So this has been Delete signing out.